Here we go again. Wednesday, time for another declassified CIA document. This one, particularly long. Not as long as the MK Ultra video. No, don't worry. But let's get to it. Oh, just for those of you that haven't seen this before, basically every week I read through 2 million some odd declassified documents that have been collected by the blackvault.com and find some interesting ones among all of the really boring ones. This little gem comes from a CIA report from 8 November 1955. Got it printed out here for us today. The digital file name is Charlie 055178000 if you want to search for the PDF. The document scanned ID, and this is just what I'm talking about for those of you that have watched before and know that sometimes there's two different numbers on here. This number is the one in the document. This number is the one in the file name. Not sure why the discrepancy. I'm guessing just different requests over time. Anywho, as you can see, this is a standard incident witness form, typical of DoD, also typical of, most standardized agencies that need some type of standardized form for which to take reliable reports that they can reference later should they be needed in court or anything else for that matter. This one, information report, Central Intelligence Agency. Subject, sighting of unconventional flying object. Report number 00-Bravo 90. That might be 70. Either 70 or 90542, dated 8 November 1955. There are 3 pages in this report. I'll warn you now. Spoiler alert. The last page is pretty much unreadable. Yeah. The incident took place 4 October 1955. Source. So the source has been, you guessed it, wholly redacted. Anywho, yeah. Source. All this comes from one witness, not multiple, just so you know. So here we have referenced source A. Section 1. All tickets and reservations for us were arranged by redacted. The trip from redacted to redacted being part of our itinerary approved by redacted officials. We originally were scheduled to depart from, you guessed it, redacted, in early afternoon on 4 October 55. But due to a change in train schedules, we were delayed and actually departed on a later train, which had better accommodations. Departing from redacted at about 6 o'clock, we traveled south at a speed of 25 to 30 miles per hour, reaching redacted before dark. After stopping at redacted, our direction of travel changed from south to west. At 7:10 o'clock exactly, or rather at 7:10 o'clock, exactly 10 minutes after leaving, and 15 or 20 minutes before our arrival at redacted, one of the party who was in an adjoining compartment rushed in and exclaimed, "I saw it! I just saw a flying saucer!" We had been talking and had not looked outside for some time. When we turned our attention to the window, we did not see anything unusual as the light was so in the compartment. This light was on in the compartment, and it was twilight outside. Paragraph 2. We turned the light off as quickly as possible. At this time, I saw a shadowy form above the horizon to the south. Its profile was not clearly outlined against the sky, but appeared to be shaped like a partially deflated balloon with a slight dome on top. When I first saw it, it was off the ground and rising rather slowly in a vertical direction. There were two sources of light connected with the object, a white light on top, and on the perimeter, a glow, which was about the same color as an aircraft engine exhaust, white with a trace of pink. I have no estimate of its distance from us, possibly 1 to 2 miles. From this perspective, it appeared to be about the size of a redacted, which is rather stubby for fighter aircraft. It continued to rise vertically, with the glow moving slowly around the perimeter in a clockwise direction, giving the appearance of a pinwheel. When it reached an altitude of 10 to 15 degrees from the horizon, the spinning stopped. The glow remaining fixed on the side away from us, and it then moved toward us at tremendous speed, passing over the train. I would estimate that it was much faster than a jet plane doing a flyby. The light on top disappeared as it came toward us. The object did not seem to change size to any great extent as it came toward us. My viewing position, this is one of the reasons I really like this one. My viewing position at the window, incidentally, was approximately 6 feet above the level of the railroad track. I am 6 feet tall, and I remember that we're just going to say earlier, it's kind of unreadable. Remember that earlier, while standing beside the train, my head came up to the bottom of the window when I was viewing came up to the bottom of the window. That's why he knows. Okay. When I was viewing the object, I was in a stooped position and was looking out of the bottom of the window. All right, I'm gonna have to switch to the page on this one because it got scanning sideways. Thank you, CIA. About 45 to 50 degrees to the left of the point on which I first saw the object were two white lights, which appeared to be spotlights. Whew. Wow, I'm gonna have to try to read this sideways. Here's what I'm reading, by the way. Yeah. It's not gonna work. Tell you what, we're gonna use digital technology here to zoom in and enhance, just like all the CIA movies do. See that there? Zoom in, enhance, create pixels from nothing. Yeah, okay. Okay, about 45 to 90 degrees to the left of the point at which I first saw the object were two white lights, which appeared to be searchlights. Still an unreadable word. Something like both were visible, one of which was directed parallel to the ground. The other seemed to come directed toward the ground. Okay, so you got one kind of pointing that way and one pointing that way. Weird searchlight pattern. They did not move and apparently were used for ground illumination. Okay. The object which I saw could not have been either a rocket or missile. Redacted. there was enough daylight remaining to definitely see a form. However, it was insufficient to distinguish a specific configuration. All right, I got to pause for just a second. It's 1955. This guy has seen what he's claiming to be a flying saucer, or he's not really claiming, he's just describing the thing. Yet he still has his wits about him enough to observe at this level of detail. But the word here, configuration, has very much kind of stopped me in my tracks, because one of the things Bob Lazar mentioned is that there were multiple configurations of the craft he saw at S4. This guy seems to be trying to figure out which version of a flying saucer he's looking at, because apparently in 1955 he already knew there were multiple variants of this, different configurations. This really reads like it was an agent on a train. I just got to say, I don't know that that's the case. I can't find anything, but this is very well laid out, very well articulated. Almost no typos in this whatsoever. It's very thought through. The metrics are all here too. Great references. Anyway, all right. So the light was insufficient to distinguish a specific configuration because it was clearly at twilight, as he mentioned earlier, about 7:10 p.m. We don't know where this was because that got redacted. The slowly revolving light might have been related to its propulsion and another word that's just unreadable because the ink's running together. Revolving at the end of the vertical movement. Oh, ceased revolving. Okay, we're going to piece this one together here. The slowly revolving light might have been related to its propulsion as it ceased revolving at the end of the vertical movement and remained in a fixed position to the rear of the direction of movement when it was when it moved swiftly toward us. Oh my goodness. The brain's an amazing thing, the way it recognizes shapes when the characters are completely this is almost unreadable. I cannot unreadable. The time it was in sight, but it was very short. So basically I cannot determine the time it was in sight but it was very short. My impression was that it rises mostly vertically to the point where its movement changed to horizontal with a slight rounding off at the point of intersection of the two lines. That doesn't even make any sense, but we're going to go with it because I can't. The rest is just going to be me guessing. Yeah, I'm not going to waste your time with the rest. It looks like it's got some good stuff in here. I was mistaken. It looks like there is a second witness testimony here for paragraphs 5, 6, 7, and then the 8th paragraph, which is unreadable on the 3rd page. I mean, just wholly unreadable. But paragraphs 5, 6, and 7 may actually be discernible if I can really spend some time on it and try to transcribe it. Maybe that'll be a project for another day. Thank you so much. This is this is not some hocus pocus story from somewhere. This is a legit declassified CIA report written November 8th, 1955. It's actually 3 days after Doc Brown invented time travel. Clearly weird things going on around the world. We have no idea where this is coming from. I'm going to guess probably an English-speaking place just by the fluent dialect here. There's no real language barrier that I'm used to seeing from a translation of some other account. So I'm going to go with, I don't know. I got guesses. You've got guesses. I want to hear your guesses more than you want to hear mine at this point. Drop them in the comments. What do you want me to read next? This is UFO based. We can do some MK Ultra. We can do some paperclip. Paperclip's a great foundational one to know about. Yeah, let me know. If you want to point me in a direction, I'll be happy to go pull those specific things and read them off to you. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week.